Hello, I greet you on this fourth Sunday of Lent, Laetare Sunday. Recall that Gaudete Sunday of Advent signaled exuberant joy at the coming birth of Jesus. Laetare Sunday marks the halfway point of Lent and signals an internal joy, the joy anticipating Easter, the bursting forth of new life not only in nature, but in Jesus' victory over death and resurrection. This joy is signaled by the pink vestments worn by the priest at Mass. In this mission moment, I will focus on one of the less understood practices of Lent, giving. As overview, there are three things that Lent focuses on: prayer, fasting, that is, not doing something to focus more on God, and third, giving. As Christians, we are created to help others, not just the strong, successful, and powerful, but especially the weak and those in need. We are called to give of ourselves because other people matter. Every person has dignity. As Christians, our model is Jesus. St. Paul said, "He who was rich made himself poor for our sake." We too are to conform our lives to Jesus Christ. What that means is not just to pray for others, but we are literally called, in a certain sense, to impoverish ourselves for others. The riches you have, what you work so hard for, are your accomplishments. Kind of, but it is yours for what? For what purpose? So that you can be a steward of compassion and be like Jesus, who was rich but emptied himself. Giving is a key ingredient to internal joy, to happiness. This seems contradictory to many people. Researchers have even done experiments to test Jesus' principle that giving to others brings happiness. Consider this example. Michael Norton is a professor at Harvard Business School who did a study on money and happiness. His researchers divided people into two groups. They gave money to one group and told them to spend it on themselves. To the other group, they told, spend money on other people. Each individual was asked about their experience. The results: people who spent money on others were happier than people who spent money on themselves, regardless of the reason and amount. As the researchers dug deeper into this phenomenon, they learned that those who spent money on other people thought about their money differently. They spent money with an intent to benefit another. For example, one bought a nice dinner for a homeless person. Another purchased a stuffed animal for a sick child. The researchers concluded that those who spent money for the benefit of others described benefiting much more than those who spent money on themselves. Each of us is able to give of ourselves. How can we be thoughtful of another this Lent? Jesus specifically asks us to do so. Why? Because other people matter. Because we are grateful for what God has done for us. Because we want to be an image and in likeness to Christ in the world. Because doing so is a key ingredient to happiness. What are the little and big ways you can give of yourself this Lent? I invite you and myself this pink Laetare Sunday to pray and ask God to help us, not only to be grateful and joyful givers, but thoughtful givers. And in so doing, we become part of the great adventure of extending the compassionate presence of Christ in all we do. Until next time,